inaugural Innovation in Education Conference, coming together because, of course, we are all motivated by the desire to take our education system beyond incremental improvement.
If the future increasingly looks like a war, then this most recent generation of teachers are pretty well the only infantry that I think we've got. And the war I'm referring to is, of course, a war between what I see as our failed present and the possibility of an altogether more imaginative future. In my judgment, we have no future unless we're prepared to be a damn sight more imaginative. It seems to me that if we're truly prepared to tackle the immense challenges of the 21st century, then I believe we've no choice but to enlist and to embrace the equally immense power of the most recent digital technologies.
Education's rightly seen as vital to the health of a nation and by extension of the world, but this has led to a mistaken assumption that it's too important to experiment with. Well, the opposite's true. In a rapidly changing world, it's too important to be left behind. There's a line that's attributed to Henry Ford. If I'd asked my customers what they wanted, they'd have said, a faster horse. Well, if you go for incremental reform, the best you get is a faster horse. Education is a growth industry. No, it doesn't always feel that way, but people see that finding, assessing, applying and sharing information will be vital to success, not just for a small elite any longer, but for everyone. The knowledge economy demands a learning society.
So my career since then has been an attempt to recognize the tremendous loss of human capital that we institutionally lose by mispredicting based on socioeconomic status, mispredicting based on ethnicity, mispredicting based on gender, mispredicting based on language ability, and also now mispredicting based on standardized tests. If you're memorizing 3,000 biology words, makes kids think, I don't want to be a biologist, but behaving like a biologist does, and behaving like a photographer makes you want to do that, and behaving like a journalist, and behaving like a mathematician.
Most important asset is it's actually the teachers. It's the profession with freedom and also option for innovation in practical terms. Teachers prefer goals like learning to learn, problem solving, thinking abilities, responsibility and cooperation. And it's especially important because these are not especially highlighted in our national core curriculum, but they are taken as granted by teachers.
L-Cubed is about leaders and learners. And the key thing that surfaced for us was the unique character of many of the leaders of these schools involved in Communities for Learning. Because they somehow seem to get over the fear question, do we really understand our community? And what does our community care about? And how can we help the things that our learners care about and the things that our community care about to really be better reflected in the way we operate and in the way we design learning opportunities?
We need to think, what are we educating young people for? What are the purposes? In primary, are we preparing them for secondary school? Or are we preparing them as a right in itself, as a valuable time and an opportunity? And it's not necessarily either or. Can we say that arts and creativity, or citizenship and ethics, or faith and belief are less important than mathematics if we are thinking of a broad curriculum?
We ask the question, do our children really know what we mean by learning? What we're trying to do here is get our learners to become responsible for their own learning. And so they are allowed, they're given permission, whichever way you want to put it, but they are encouraged very strongly to negotiate the curriculum pathways. So it doesn't any longer become the teacher doing the leading, the class itself does the leading. Opening Minds, which is our curriculum heading, comes from the Opening Minds project. is as much to do with opening teachers' minds as it is to do with students. Students have open minds. Teachers tend to work more within boxes than we probably care to admit.
If you looked at any other industry, actually the biggest force for innovation would be completely new entrants who'd come from a completely different place.
And one of the things we have to learn in education, therefore, is about being much more open, not just to new providers, not just to new models, but totally new ideas of thinking about education and about learning and about teaching in these environments. Some of the key themes of this are about openness, about bridging across, as Charlie has said, to those thoughts that are coming from outside of the education system, but particularly for deprivatising the learning process.
We are most grateful to all that have come to participate in this inaugural Guardian Innovation Unit Innovation in Education Conference. We will certainly stay connected in all the ways that we've mentioned at the outset. Colleagues, thank you very much indeed.